Right now at 5, a Kansas court sentences a Jasper County man in connection with the murder of his wife.
And a bit of a chillier start for us out there today. We have a otherwise beautiful April afternoon ahead of us, so look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, a proposed change to Liberty Utilities' fuel adjustment clause could mean a slight hike to your monthly bill.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snelly.
I'm Chris Warner. It's Tuesday and it is April the 15th. Now we're officially halfway through the month of April. And
tax day too.
Yeah, pretty decent day. Oh yeah, tax day. Yes. Oh yes. If you haven't done it, man, you are out of time. But you still at least have today.
Yes.
Got to get it filed today, though. And a great day to be inside doing taxes. I'm kidding. It's a terrible day to have to be inside doing taxes. So hopefully you got it done. It's going to be pretty nice. Let's start with that look outside downtown Pittsburgh. And we do have clear skies this morning, and we will have clear skies throughout the afternoon. MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin looking pretty good as well. The future track, really not much to show for us on our Tuesday other than the fact the skies will be clear. As I mentioned, we're maybe a degree or two cooler today than where we were yesterday, but we are still pretty close to normal, and we won't be nearly as windy as we head through the afternoon and evening hours across the area. It's a little below normal to start this morning, but that's all right. It's not that bad. 40 in Joplin, 42 in Pittsburgh. Temperatures across the region, they look like this. The majority of us in the low to mid 40s. We do have Neodesha as the cold spot at 38. Independence Parsons, you're right behind at 39. And we do have some upper 40s in some of our southern counties as we get this day started. Kids getting on the bus probably want at least a light jacket or something. We're looking to be low 40s. Clear skies though. North winds around 5 to 10 miles an hour by this afternoon. Right around 64. Still sunny skies and still a lighter north breeze at about 5 to 10. Clear skies through today. Eventually make it mid-60s, maybe some upper 60s out there. So as I mentioned, a near textbook April-like day across the 4 states. So that's that. We're still in storm season, obviously, and we have increasing storm chances, some of which could be strong, potentially severe. Over the next several days, we're going to break down all of that for you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, a Kansas judge sentences a Jasper County man in connection to the murder of his wife. Now, yesterday, a judge in Miami County, Kansas, sentenced this man, Gavina McJunkins-Macias, to 10 years and 3 months for the charge of second-degree murder. Now, McJunkins-Macias pleaded guilty to the charge earlier this year. The charge stems from June 2024 when officers in Carthage, Missouri received a 911 call stating the body of a woman was found inside a camper in the 600 block of North Main. Authorities identified the woman as Kanaya Lopez of Carthage. The investigation revealed the crime had taken place in rural Lewisburg, Kansas, before the victim and the camper were driven to Carthage. Authorities arrested McJunkins-Macias. Prosecutors charged him with second-degree murder in Kansas. Now, on the Missouri side, McJunkins-Macias was charged with abandonment of a corpse. Now, that charge is still being adjudicated. Well, the criminal suspect has been taken to the hospital, and 2 Jasper County deputies are on administrative leave following an officer-involved shooting. Now, the injured man is 43-year-old Gavin Newton of Joplin. We don't know his condition, but here's what authorities say happened. Jasper County deputies were dispatched to investigate a domestic incident in progress yesterday on County Road 70. Now, according to the report, when they encountered Newton, he was carrying a knife. Now, they ordered him to get on the ground, but he charged at the deputies. They tased him twice with no effect. Then one deputy shot Newton. Authorities say the deputies administered medical aid until EMS arrived. Now, Newton is now charged with domestic assault and assault on a law enforcement officer. The Missouri Highway Patrol is now handling the investigation. A 2-vehicle crash claims the life of a small child on Monday evening. Shortly after 5 p.m., first responders were alerted to a crash on Highway J and Quail Road east of Diamond, Missouri. A Granby man driving a Chevy Trailblazer traveling north failed to yield to a Ford F-250 who was traveling west. Now, the truck overturned and landed upside down. The Granby man and the driver of the Ford suffered minor injuries. Now, there were 3 other occupants in the truck. A woman and an 8-year-old suffered minor injuries. The 6-year-old was pronounced dead at the scene. Everyone was wearing seatbelts, and those with injuries were transported to Freeman West. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. While officials in McDonald County, Missouri are finished counting votes from last week's election, yesterday marked what many hope is the end of the process, the certification. The verification board met yesterday to officially certify the results. Now, this process included a random selection of precincts to be manually counted by a bipartisan team of election judges. And one race to note in Goodman. The certification process follows after 2 candidates ran for both mayor and alderman, with Clay Sexton winning both races. Now, Sexton will be the new mayor and then appoint an alderman of his choosing. And some good news for disaster-stricken Arkansas. The IRS has extended the income tax filing deadline for people and businesses in Arkansas hit hard by this month's tornadoes and flash flooding. Now, taxpayers in the natural state now have until November 3rd to file returns and also make payments. Also, households and people who have a business in any of Arkansas's 25 counties qualify for the tax relief. Well, the Missouri Public Service Commission is accepting public comment on a request by Liberty Utility to change the company's fuel adjustment rate. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more on what customers need to know.
You have just days left if you want to make your voice heard to a proposed change to Liberty Utility's Fuel Adjustment Clause. A Fuel Adjustment Clause is also known as an FAC. According to the Missouri Public Service Commission, the FAC requires regular adjustments to reflect changes in prices the company has incurred for fuel and wholesale power purchased to serve customers. According to testimony Liberty Utilities provided to the Public Service Commission, the proposed change would also enable the company to recover the difference between energy costs built into its base rates and the total energy costs actually incurred. According to that testimony, Liberty's FAC was undercollected by roughly $1.3 million in the last 6-month period reviewed. Liberty's FAC is reviewed every 6 months. For the average Missouri residential customer using 1,000 kilowatt hours, their electric bill would increase by roughly $2.24 per month if the requested FAC change is applied. Customers should know this is separate from Liberty's electric base rate increase request to the Commission, which proposes to raise rates by over 29%. Reporting in Joplin, I'm Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Now, the Public Service Commission is accepting those public comments through this Friday. You can learn how to submit a comment on our website, koamnewsnow.com. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Diamond High School softball plays host to Lamar. We'll have the details. Plus, a trash strike in the UK continues for its 6th week, and officials worry it could cause a public health crisis. And we have a nice and sunny day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Well, Diamond High School softball is coming off a state championship in 2024, and about a month into the 2025 season, Lady Wildcats are showing that they have plenty of potential to repeat as state champs. Perhaps a preview of the district championship next month. 7-4 Lamar faces 16-1 defending state champion Diamond. The Tigers start red hot. Riley Duncan rips this pitch in the left field. Kelby Wolf hustles home and slides in safely. This is part of a 4-run top of the first for Lamar. And the Tigers aren't finished there. Top of the second, Maylee Rawlings hammers one to deep center and way out of here. That home run gives Lamar a 6-0 lead. So we head to the 5th, and Wolf slices one down the line in right. Rawlings scores another run, and the Tigers are up 11-1 on the defending state champions, but Diamond would rally. Bottom of the fifth, hot shot off the bat of Paige Marbo. Rolls under the shortstop's glove and all the way to the wall in left center. Kenzie Crook scores easily. And after an errant throw, Marbo comes all the way around to score as well. The Wildcats score 7 runs to pull within 3. So we go to the bottom of the 7th. Lamar up by 2 with 2 outs, and Lexi Stephen gets the swinging strikeout to end it. Lamar goes on the road and earns a huge win over Diamond. Final score 11-9. The 2024-25 MIAA women's golf season is coming to a close quickly. The conference championship is happening right now in Kearney, Nebraska. Coinciding with that, all MIAA teams got released yesterday morning, and a couple of Missouri Southern Lions get featured on those lists. Sophomore Katarina Chinaranska is on the second team, and senior Lily Allman receives third team honors. Here's a look at the individual leaderboard. After 2 days of competition, everyone's got 18 more holes to play today. In total, 68 competitors from MIAA schools are participating. Northeastern State's Sam McKelly stands alone in first place at 11 over par. Chinaranska is leading the way for Southern. She's in 11th place at 16 over. Marin Harlow is 3 strokes behind in 28th place, and Allman is in 32nd at 20 over. As we show you the team leaderboard, Central Missouri is in a pretty comfortable spot in first place with a 9-shot lead on everyone else. Southern in 7th place with a team total of 75 over par. The third and final day of competition starts this morning at 10. Now over to Major League Baseball. Last night, the Royals get their first shot at revenge against the Yankees, who knocked them out of the playoffs en route to a World Series appearance last fall. Unfortunately, it's not how things go in the Bronx. The Yankees hit 3 home runs in the bottom of the 5th inning and beat the Royals 4-1. Over in St. Louis, the Cardinals smoked the Astros. Final score 8-3. Great day at the dish for Nolan Hernando. He goes 3 for 4 with 2 doubles and a home run. Well, still to come, we'll learn how parents can keep their kids' social media safe. Plus, it's nice today. It wasn't bad yesterday. But we have big changes on the way. The latest when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:17 on this Tuesday morning, starting with the future track. Now for today, we're looking pretty darn good. Almost a textbook April day. We'll have a light north breeze around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Temperatures mid, maybe some upper 60s out there, so pretty close to average. Winds become calm rather late this evening, and then they'll begin to shift out of the south overnight tonight into our Wednesday. So again, a pinch warmer overnight with that south breeze. So we're talking most of us right around the mid 40s, which is about average for where we should be. We head into Wednesday. By late morning, early afternoon, we start getting some scattered showers, maybe even a rumble of thunder or 2 out there. And then that pauses momentarily before we see another round, at least of a couple of isolated storms from Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And then those will clear out by about 6, 7 o'clock on Thursday morning. And then we're looking pretty good for the rest of our Thursday. Temperatures warming up, partly cloudy skies, not a bad day. We'll have those south winds a bit on the breezy side though, and eventually take a look at this, low 80s by Thursday evening. However, all of this does come at a bit of a price over the next several days. Today, of course, no problems whatsoever. Tomorrow, we do have a low risk across mostly southeastern Kansas. And then Thursday, we have that low risk just clipping our northwestern counties. So here's the breakdown on the expectations heading into tomorrow with the thunderstorm chances, mainly that round that looks to be overnight from late Wednesday into early Thursday. Small hail and perhaps some gusty winds are going to be possible. So the good news is the overall risks with any stronger storms are quite low as we go into Wednesday and Thursday, but nonetheless, it is there, and that is not the only risk we have over the next several days, which we're going to talk about here in just a moment. Right now in Joplin, though, it's 40. Skies are clear. It does feel like 35, even with that light breeze, so it makes it feel a little bit colder out there. Across the region, temperatures still, most of us, low to mid 40s. We do have some cold spots. Neodesha, the cold spot, it looks like at 38, with Carthage, Parsons, and Independence not far behind. You go down south. Got some upper 40s. Anderson Grove, a couple of the warmer spots, both sitting at 49. Through the morning, mid-40s to start. Clear skies out there. Mid-50s by 11 o'clock this morning. Even with all the extra sunshine, we're not going to do a ton of warming. We're not going to get super hot or anything. Looking to level out, again, right about the mid-60s. So not far from normal by any means, with that north breeze at about 5 to 10. Into the overnight we go. Still clear skies for the evening. Few clouds overnight, so mostly clear skies, and back down right around the mid-40s with those winds again shifting out of the south at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Then we get into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. One thing that's looking a bit more likely as we head into the weekend is our flooding concerns. We're looking at getting a lot of rain as we head into the weekend. And while we need the rain, that's fantastic, but too much in too short a time is not necessarily a good thing. And it kicks off by Friday evening with the development of thunderstorms along or right ahead of a cold front. And this is still kind of the setup. It's a little bit later in the day now, but still showing the same thing from Chicago to St. Louis through our area down to Oklahoma City and back into the panhandle of Texas. We'll see scattered showers, thunderstorms out there. They will continue overnight into Saturday. Saturday continues with showers and thunderstorms. Some of us may even get a break Saturday evening before we see additional shower and thunderstorm development return as we head into Sunday. And that's why, again, our flooding concern is up there, because over the course of about 2.5 days, if you count Friday evening, that is a lot of possible rainfall that we want to keep an eye on. The other issue we have is this guy. This is for Friday. This is our severe risk. It's not going away. Some good news, it didn't change, which is some good news, but this risk, again, stretching from Chicago down toward Oklahoma City and southwest. Goodness, not enough coffee yet this morning. But we do have that severe threat as we go into Friday. Saturday, that threat shifts off to our south and east a bit. By Sunday, it starts to retreat back to the north and west and comes back into our area. So again, just because it's showing up now does not necessarily mean a significant severe weather event is going to take place. This is just the computer data saying it looks likely as though the ingredients for some kind of strong to severe thunderstorms will be in place out there. So we definitely want to keep an eye from Friday through Sunday with these thunderstorm chances out there. Low 70s tomorrow, low 80s Thursday and Friday, back to normal Saturday. Sunday, Easter, looking okay, a little above normal, but we have those storm chances. And then additional storm chances as we head into the next work week as storm season really starts to pick up across the 4 states. Let's check your forecast. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Well, topping Health Watch this morning, a new study shows chemicals meant to make children safer could be harming them. A University of Toronto researcher found children's mattresses contain toxic chemicals that release into the air. Now, some of those chemicals are flame retardants. Other are phthalates used in the manufacturing process and ultraviolet light filters. Now, according to this study, the amount of chemicals contained in the mattresses are measured as unreliable. Now, that's because as a child sleeps, their weight and body heat causes those chemicals in them to release, and the child breathes them in. Now, the tested mattresses were purchased in Canada, but the same problem is expected throughout North America. Well, scrolling through social media has become the norm for many children and teens. And while these apps can allow them to stay connected to friends, they can also cause harm if used too frequently. Now, Mandy Gaither has more on how to know if your child is ready for social media and what parents can do to keep them safe.
Social media has become a significant part of life for many. 77% of high schoolers reported frequent daily social media use in a 2023 national survey by the CDC. But experts say using these apps too much can be harmful to children and teens.
It can affect their mental health, but it can also affect their safety.
Tracy Hurley is with the Child Protection Team at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. She says most experts recommend waiting until a child is in 8th grade before allowing social media. But since everyone develops differently, she says to answer the following questions.
Are they mature enough? Are they responsible with their belongings? Can they take care of the other belongings that they have in the home? And can they follow the other types of rules that you already have set in place at home or at school?
Hurley says if the answer is no to any of these, you may want to wait. She says it's also important for the parent to be ready for a child to have social media. Once your child has these apps, she says parents play a big role in safety. Monitor your child's interactions online. There are apps that can help you do that. Keep communication open about their online experiences, set clear rules and limits for social media use, and finally, be prepared for difficult conversations around things they've seen or done online.
There's wonderful resources out there that can have questions that you might not think of to ask kids specifically about their internet usage and what they do online.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Now, the CDC says it's also important for parents to educate themselves about new devices and websites their child is using. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got a beautiful day ahead of us. We'll have another look at your forecast when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, a city in southwest Missouri gets ready for a serious case of spring cleaning.
And it's a bit on the chilly side out there this morning ahead of a nice, beautiful April day. A look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, Twin Hills Golf Course in Joplin tees off an annual tournament to raise money for a good cause.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It's Tuesday and it is April the 15th. It is tax day. It is halfway through the month of April,
Yes.
and it is going to be a beautiful day
Great.
in the 4 states for sure. And you might want to take time to enjoy it today because we have some big changes in our weather pattern over the next week and a half or so across the area. So, but we've been pretty quiet since that last nasty round of severe weather
Right. Yes,
almost
we
2
have.
weeks ago now. But that is about to change. Not today, though. Today's going to be great. Let's start with that great look outside downtown Pittsburgh. We've got clear skies overhead. We will have clear skies throughout the day today. The MoDOT camera at 20th and Rangeline. It looks pretty darn good as well. Future Track looks great too. We are, again, clear skies, fantastic temperatures. Yeah, it's a little cool, but it's seasonable as we head into the afternoon. Most of us at or very close to our normal highs for this time of year. Some of our eastern counties may be a wee bit cooler, but again, all of us at least making the 60s today with plentiful sunshine. A light north breeze too, by the way, which will eventually be calm at least for a little while as we go into the late evening hours. Right now, again, chilly. It is 40 in Joplin. It is 43 in Pittsburgh. Across the area, most of us are in the low to mid 40s. Now down south, we do have some upper 40s where we've got Grove and Anderson as the warm spots at 49 apiece. Cold spot still is Neodesha at 38. Oh, sorry, now Independence tied with you as the cold spot at 38. Parsons, Carthage, though, pretty close behind at 39. So again, a bit of a chilly start. The kids getting on the bus this morning. Clear skies, low 40s. North breeze 5 to 10, so they might want that light jacket. But by this afternoon, they shouldn't really need it. Sunny, 64. North winds around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Clear skies today, right around the mid 60s again, as I mentioned, for just about everybody. So a beautiful day. You need to get out and enjoy it because this beautiful weather will start to come to a close. We are still in storm season. We're going to start to see an unsettled pattern over the next several days. And we'll go over those details with you in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, scams can strike anytime, anywhere, and as economists warn that a potential recession could be triggered by rising tariffs, fraudsters could already be gearing up to take advantage. Now, according to members Trust Federal Credit Union, scammers often ramped up their schemes when people are feeling financially uncertain. Now, we spoke with the Better Business Bureau for tips on protecting yourself.
Sort of unsolicited offer, unsolicited text message, anything that you get, research the source and be careful with sharing any kind of information until you're able to verify it.
Now, according to the Federal Trade Commission, scams increased 25% in 2024 compared to the previous year. Well, a warning for some Southwest Missouri college students. Campus security at Missouri State University says they have seen an uptick in Kia and Hyundai car thefts. Now, authorities say thieves specifically target these cars made between 2012 and 2021 due to a vulnerability in the ignition systems. Springfield police say these incidents are isolated on and around the campus.
They're not going around to checking all the doors. They're going specifically to those types of vehicles. And so they're going to the Kias and the Hyundais specifically and getting into those cars. It's not like they're going around the lot seeing how many cars they can get into. This is that particular car they're going to.
Now, even if you're not an MSU student, if you drive either of these types of cars, consider using a steering wheel lock. Now, park in well-lit, high-traffic areas and make sure your windows are closed and car is locked. And remember, if you see anything suspicious, to report it. All residents gathered at the Joplin Athletic Complex for the informal council in the park event. Community members asked questions, shared feedback, and engaged with local council officials. Now, local officials answered questions and collected ideas.
We're all people too. We're just like they are. We've just chosen to do a public service in our community and know that we're regular people and we can listen to their concerns, and we're concerned about the same things.
Now, the next session will take place on July 14th at Cunningham Park, and residents are encouraged to come and participate. A new federal holiday could be hopping our way. Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt has announced a bill to make the Monday after Easter a federal holiday. Now, it's called Easter Monday Act of 2025, and Schmidt says it would give Americans more chance to celebrate with their friends and family. It would also break up the gap in federal holidays between President's Day and Memorial Day. Well, city officials in Diamond, Missouri want to remind residents that a citywide cleanup is taking place until next Monday. Now, the city will make a dumpster available at the city lagoon. Residents needing to use the dumpster after business hours need to schedule a time. Now, for more information, including a list of items prohibited from being dumped, just head over to KOAMNewsNow.com. A long-standing tradition teed off yesterday at Twin Hills Golf Course. The 19th annual Ascent Golf Tournament serves as a fundraiser for Ascent Recovery residents and The Rock. For one event organizer, the tournament hits close to home.
It's real personal for me because I'm in recovery, so this has been my dream. I've had a dream of starting this thing for years and years, and so for me, it warms my heart because they're getting to see a different side of recovery.
The fundraiser aims to provide essential resources, treatment access, and a stronger path for those working towards sobriety. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The Hungarian parliament passes a controversial constitutional amendment banning pride events. Plus, President Trump hosts El Salvador's president at the White House. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Well, topping World Watch, ongoing strikes in the UK resulting in a trash pileup. The city of Birmingham is now in its sixth week of strikes after union workers rejected a pay offer from the city council Monday afternoon. Now, city officials worrying about a public health crisis as trash can be seen scattered through the streets. The residents are now calling for immediate action, saying mice are becoming a major issue. Members of the union voted 97% against the pay offer from the city council. Plans for further talks are scheduled for Wednesday. Hungary's parliament passes an amendment to the constitution allowing the government to ban events by LGBTQ+ communities. Now, Monday's vote has legal scholars and critics saying this is another step towards authoritarianism for Hungary. Now, as the government continues to restrict the rights of LGBTQ+ communities, the opposition party blew air horns in Parliament as the vote took place, and also hung a banner that read, quote, "You can ban us, but not the truth." The amendment required a 2/3 vote. It passed along party lines. Now, it's the 15th amendment to Hungary's constitution since Orban's party approved the document in 2011. Well, South Korea's ousted President Yoon Suk-yeol attends a hearing for his criminal trial. A convoy carrying Yoon arrived at a courthouse in Seoul Monday as he faces rebellion charges for declaring martial law last December. Yoon's lawyers spoke ahead of the hearing, saying prosecutors are trying to turn the declaration of martial law to an incitement of insurrection. Now, at the start of proceedings, prosecutors claimed Yoon lacked the legal grounds to declare martial law and accused him of trying to paralyze state institutions such as parliament. The martial law attempt lasted about 6 hours before Yoon backed down under pressure from parliament and public protests. Well, El Salvador has become an integral part of President Trump's immigration crackdown, and on Monday, the country's president paid a visit to the White House. Hanging over the meeting was the unknown fate of a migrant mistakenly deported to the Central American nation. Rick Edson has more from Washington.
Mr. President, it's an honor to have you.
President Trump offering plenty of compliments for his friend and key ally, El Salvador's President Nayib Bukele.
We appreciate working with you because you want to stop crime, and so do we. And it's very, very effective.
El Salvador has become a vital part of President Trump's immigration crackdown, taking in hundreds of deported migrants accused of violent crimes or having gang affiliations, and jailing them in the country's notorious maximum security gang prison.
You have a crime problem, a terrorism problem that you need help with. And we're a small country, but if we can help, we will do it.
The Trump administration has been criticized for providing little evidence of gang ties or even releasing the names of those deported, except for one man, Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia, who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador in March. Last week, the Supreme Court ordered the White House to facilitate his return to the United States.
I don't think there's anyone in this country who believes the government when they say, well, we don't know how to do this. We can't figure out how to get someone out of a Salvadoran jail.
But that isn't something the Trump administration or President Bukele are entertaining.
His only options are to be deported to his home country or another country. That's it.
President Trump says he's also open to deporting legal U.S. residents who commit violent crimes to El Salvador. That would face major legal challenges.
And that's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:45 now on this Tuesday morning, starting with the future track for today. Now for today, it's looking pretty fantastic. Skies will be clear. We'll have a light north breeze. Temperatures about normal out there, maybe a couple of degrees cooler. So not a bad Tuesday. In fact, winds will actually, for a moment this evening, become calm before they'll begin to shift out of the south after midnight. Still not too crazy yet, but they will increase tomorrow out of the south, gusting upwards of 25. So that'll lead to a slightly milder start for some of us, right around the mid-40s, so about average. As we head late morning into the afternoon on our Wednesday, a few scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder will be possible out there, and then we'll get a pause in all this. We'll warm up, and then we could see another round of at least some isolated thunderstorm activity late Wednesday into early Thursday, and that should be out of our area by about 6-7 o'clock Thursday morning. That does come with the risk of maybe a strong storm or two in there, which we will cover. Thursday, otherwise, looking pretty good. Still breezy, warmer though, as we start to go into the low 80s by the afternoon, and it won't be again until we head into Friday. We see another round of thunderstorm chances. So today, again, no worries out there. Tomorrow and Thursday, as again going to be overnight for Thursday as well, we have a low risk, mainly across southeast Kansas for tomorrow, and then into our northwestern counties for Thursday, with the greatest concern with any stronger storms we see tomorrow into Thursday being some small hail and perhaps some gusty winds. A very low tornado risk. There's no areas highlighted. And the overall risk for Wednesday into Thursday is pretty low. But those things begin to change just a bit as we head into the weekend, which we'll discuss in a moment. Right now, though, hard to believe that strong storms or even severe storms could be in our forecast because it's pretty cold this morning. 40. It feels like 35 with that north-northwest breeze at about 7. Across the area, most of us into the low to mid-40s. We have some upper 40s down south. Grove, Anderson, still the warm spots at 49 apiece. Right now, we have kind of a tie with the colder spots out there with Carthage, Parsons, Neodesha, and Iola all at 39 this morning. So again, some of us Down south, about normal. The rest of us a little below normal this morning. And we'll have a slightly below normal start. Mid-40s out there. Clear skies, though. Mid-50s by 11 o'clock this morning. And into the afternoon, sunny skies. North winds 5 to 10. And eventually our highs right around the mid-60s. So pretty close to average there as well. Into the evening we go. Could have a few clouds overnight. Otherwise clear. Low 50s by 10. Back to the mid-40s overnight tonight. With that south breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Now, we have the Easter weekend coming up, and of course, it's a holiday weekend. Something's got to happen, and we do have shower and thunderstorm chances. And they begin as early as late Friday evening. So we still have roughly the same setup, but the future track has moved the timing back a little later Friday evening. But you may remember yesterday, if you're with us, from Chicago, St. Louis, just following the I-44 corridor, we get a line of showers and thunderstorms. And by late Friday evening, it starts to fill in, and we start to see the chances for strong, potentially severe thunderstorms. We'll have shower and thunderstorm chances continue with us Friday night into Saturday. Might get a brief break for some of us by Saturday evening before we see additional showers and thunderstorms Saturday night and heading into our Sunday. So for Easter Sunday, we are looking at widespread shower and thunderstorm activity out there. With that said, we're also looking at pretty heavy amounts of rain. So severe weather concerns aside, flooding is going to be a concern as we head into the weekend as well, because while we need the rain, this is another one of those situations where we're going to get a little too much too quickly. And here's what we're looking at. This hasn't really changed since yesterday. For Friday, it stretches again from Chicago back down to the southwest, does include most of our region for a possible severe risk. Now, again, there's only two categories, either possible or probable. So we are watching. This is for Friday evening. We go into our Saturday. The risk shifts off to our south and east. So it's outside of our immediate area for thunderstorm chances on Saturday, but then it retreats back northwest as we head into Sunday. So that puts it back into our area, and you have to remember this is only two categories, and it'll be broken down in more detail as we get closer. A reminder though, just because the computer models are seeing severe weather this far out does not always mean a significant severe weather outbreak is expected. It just means they agree that strong to severe thunderstorms are going to be possible in those areas. Low 70s tomorrow, low 80s Thursday, Friday, back to normal Saturday, Easter Sunday. Showers, storms back to about 70. Not bad next Monday, and then additional thunderstorm chances as we head into the next work week. That's checking your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
A train cuts a grain trailer in half in Alcatraz in 3D. Jim Rowbottom has those stories in today's edition of Take a Look at This.
In an epic flash of grain, a freight train split a trailer in half in rural Minnesota after the semi pulled into its path. No one was seriously hurt. The trailer, which was carrying livestock feed, is a total loss, and the train engine was damaged. The crossing does not have crossing arms or signal lights, just stop signs. The trucker at the wheel was ticketed for a misdemeanor railroad crossing violation and a petty misdemeanor for disobeying a traffic control device. We don't know exactly what caused the mishap, but we just have to point out that the name of the town is Sleepy Eye. In a completely unrelated story, 3D mapping is revealing some of the secrets of the infamous prison island of Alcatraz. VCTO Labs used a $100,000 drone, a robot dog, and cutting-edge laser technology. The drone explored sewer lines, cisterns, and the power plant smokestack at the former prison off the coast of San Francisco. The mapping revealed parts of Alcatraz that haven't been seen in more than a century. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jim Rowbottom.
Very cool. Stick around. We'll be right back. Well, a pair of torches have been unveiled for the 2026 Winter Games and Paralympics. The torches of Milano Cortina 2026 were unveiled Monday in two simultaneous events held at a Milan theater in Expo 2025 in Osaka, Japan. Now, Milan and the town of Cortina d'Ampezzo, one of Italy's most famous ski resorts, are the main hosts of the Games. The torch will be lit November 26th at Greece's ancient Olympia, the birthplace of the Olympics, and is scheduled to arrive in Rome in early December. It will then relay across Italy before reaching Milan for the lighting of the cauldron at the opening ceremony. Well, a potentially record-breaking road trip is underway for two adventurers, a Norwegian and Chilean, teaming up to complete an ambitious trip around the world, hoping to visit more than 70 countries aboard an electric vehicle. Now, Friday, the pair arrived the capital of Peru after having already made a stretch from the United States to Panama, where the vehicle was transferred by boat to the coast of the Peruvian Pacific. Now, the team estimates the trip will cover 31,000 miles in 365 days.
Well, that's a heck of a road trip. I don't know if I could keep the kids satisfied or settled in a car for that long. I mean, a trip to Kansas City for kids is enough, but those guys look like they are having fun. And if you have the ability to do so, why not? And a great day to travel around the 4 states, too. Mid-40s to start, mid-50s by 11 o'clock this morning. Sunny skies out there, and that will be the situation heading into the afternoon. Temperatures near normal, right around the mid-60s, with a light north breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Could have a few clouds overnight, still clear through the evening, though, back into the mid-40s with our winds shifting out of the south at 5 to 10. South winds tomorrow gusting upwards of 25. Could have a few isolated showers or storms during the afternoon hours out there, late morning into the afternoon, maybe a couple of morning storms on Thursday. A strong storm or two possible. Low 70s tomorrow, low 80s heading Thursday into Friday. And then we're watching that possibility of strong, potentially severe thunderstorms late Friday evening into Saturday, and another return of possible strong storms on Easter Sunday. So a lot to keep an eye on heading into the holiday weekend. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.